We will be creating leather in Substance Painter. Okay, this is a basic texture, sorry, a basic sample file you will found in Substance. What you have to do, open sample, take meat mat, open, discard. Here it is. What we need to do is to create leather. Okay, so before creating leather, we need to know how it looks like. So I'll just pull some leather texture. You can see this. There are more. There are more patterns for leather. So there are plenty of types of leathers. We can create any of them, but not everyone. So there are some texture patterns. If we talk about the color, you can see there is a red, there is a light red. You can see there is some dark patches, and if you just keep on looking, you will find more and different types of texture variation. We will be working with the three different parts separately. One is color, second is height, and the third is roughness. So let's quickly start it. The color is pretty simple. It has to be a brown chocolate color. Create a base layer, and I would suggest just turn everything on. Just do it, okay? And then just make a habit of it. And then we start with the putting the color. A little brown somewhere. This will do. Then we start creating variation. We'll use shift right click to change the lighting. I'll take another layer and I'll just use color here. Okay. So let's say we're creating a black variation. So I'll use multiply then. It will add a darker tone. If you can see, it's darkening the entire texture. All we need to do, create a black mask and just add texture. This is the texture tab. We're going to use spots, cloud. One gives in sharp texture, another gives in less sharp texture. Let's use this. The texture has to be sharp. You can see we quickly get some good noise variation. Maybe it's less, maybe it's not right. The texture seems too thin. Let's add some bigger pattern. Okay, this is what more like a leather. We can reduce, change, tweak a little bit. Let's see. You have to select the BMW, change the balance, change the contrast. You can change the scale. It's all you have to look your, what do you say, reference. It's the reference which will decide how it should look like. Let's move to the next. Let's add a red patch, a little red variation. So I'll just turn it towards red, a little darker. That will do. I'll already use BMW. We can use cloud. The cloud is little blurry, a blur texture. This one is a blur one. So if you can just drag and drop here, it will automatically. You can see the blur cloud texture is in added. So let's see. This is the black. This is the base brown, and we are adding a cloud on top of that, which is giving up red patches. Okay, this is nice, but this is too much. So you just go to cloud and the balance. So there is two texture attributes, balance and contrast. If you just switch to mask, the shortcut is alt and left click, and there is some key. So white where our red texture will appear, black where our red texture will not appear. So if we increase, texture will increase. If we decrease, texture will decrease. So we can see the output. The red patches reduces. If we increase, the red patches increases. As simple as that. If we need the texture to be sharp cut, you need to increase contrast. So this is how it works. So we need more blur, so we'll keep it 0. If we increase the scale, the patches will become smaller. Yeah, like this. More like a cloud. So this is where I'm a bit okay with this. maybe a little reduced balance. I'll darken the color overall. And let's reduce the opacity so it blends properly. So there is a red and there is no red. So we have created a good variation in texture. I'll add one more layer, and there is a map called moisture. It just work like cloud, a little bit of variation. I'll keep it white for now. Let's reduce the balance. Not something I'm looking for. Maybe this. Let's get into the shade of brown. Idea here is to use light brown shade to create texture variation. Or I'll keep the opacity pretty low so it mix well with the base. Further on, if I work any more from here, we might not get to see. So I'll just keep it. That's fine. So now there is red, there is white, there is black, there is brown, there is a lot of colors. I think this is, we got enough. So as I said, we'll work with the color, height and roughness separately. This is the color part. Now let's start working with the height. Before we jump into the height, we have only one layer which has roughness. So it will decide overall roughness. If you turn on roughness on any other layer, it will take the roughness of the top layer. If I just turn on roughness here, so whatever the roughness is here, it will work with it. But it also has a mask, so it works differently. So I won't mess around right now. I'll just work with the roughness on a single layer. While you move the light, try to get the feeling how much your leather should bounce the light. I would say this is enough. We will tweak later. This is my base layer, rest is the colors. So I'll just quickly put them into folder. Here we go. As we put it into the folder, something happened. The blending mode didn't work. Okay, so I have to keep it out. I have to put all there. Now this will work. Okay. Base color. Now let's work with the height. Height is the most important thing. There are, if we talk about the base, there are three types of leather you can create from the base. One is your leather, the grunge leather. Okay. So since we have our color channel enabled, it's all showing color. So I'll just turn on the height and turn off the color. What you have to do, go negative height. If your output is not what you need, then just go positive. Or you go negative and invert the map. Almost every single map has this option, invert section. What it does, it invert the entire color channel. Now we are getting some depth part. And this is a one way to create your height. Decent, I would say. Let's turn on the setting 0.05. I think it's a decent setting. I'll just leave it. I'll take another layer. I'll turn it off. Again, the height only, turn off the color. There is another leather. Let's check this out. Height should be negative. And there is a reason why we are doing this negative. So when we are using negative, it goes in the negative direction, away from the surface. Okay, so this is pretty decent. 2. All it's down to what we need. What kind of pattern you need. Okay, it's all down to what kind of pattern you need. What kind of, this is the second pattern. Now there is another cell. Let's use a fresh layer. So I'm just telling you all possible way to create what is it, leather. So let's select the cell, turn off the color. Yeah, negative height. Did we do that? Yes. All we need to do, invert the mask, and then yeah, this is the cell. Then you going to add some blur. Just a little bit. Zero 0.2 might work. Okay. And I'll take one more, which is crack. It's actually a cement crack, concrete crack, but we can fake some leather with it. So I'll just add the height, same old minus negative, turn off the color. You'll get this kind of grunge. Just invert the map. You get this height. Might not really a leather, but you can mix it with a cell or the other. So I've just created three different kind of let's mix it together. There's another way to use this. I'll just use a color with it, and you might have come across time where you see a little brighter color in the cracks. I really need to change the contrast here to see the right output. Just reduce the balance, more like this. But it had brightened overall. We go to the mask, the black is not black. So for this kind of situation, you want to make sure your black stays black. So let's add level. Yes, a level will help you make the black black, white white. You can switch the middle tone and see the output. So this yellow part only stays in the cracks. Again, this is the fake one, not the leather crack. You might need to find some textures on the internet to add good texture. We won't be doing that right now. So let's continue. I'll just mix all the maps I have just made. Okay. So I'll start with the grunge leather. Pretty harsh. I'll just reduce it by using contrast and balance. Let's reduce the height. This will do. Let's mix this with another leather texture. Doesn't really do much. Let's use the cell with it. Same thing, reduce the height. Maps are pretty strong. Okay, and then let's try to, now it's mixing with the cell. This one is working well for the base. And just try to find the right height. We might reduce the cracks and increase the height. So there is only one layer, it has a roughness, which is the base layer, the first layer, which is somewhere around 4.5. We'll remember this, and moving forward we'll change and add variations in the roughness. So all the layers with the height Really need to work on that. We are using this 3, we won't be using this. Okay, so I'll just select the top layer. As it goes in, so the roughness has to be higher than anyone. As it goes, the cracks are pretty clear. Let's start with 7.7. It should be between 7.7 to 4.5. Let's say 5.5. Also add roughness here. Now the problem is when we are working with the roughness, this one worked well. The depth part got roughed pretty well. But okay, this is also working well. The depth part got roughed. Now you're getting my point why I was working with that. The invert map, or we would have done just the opposite. Now here it's working just opposite, right? The top part is getting rough. This is where we have to change the height and invert the map. So let's invert the map. First we need to select the map and then invert. Now the roughness is in the right place. All we need to do, play with the height. Nope, this is not working. I won't use roughness on this layer. This will do. So this is our leather. We haven't done with the roughness. If you just click on the roughness, this is the roughness map, but it will be more of variation. So let's see that. I'll add few more layer for roughness. One, we will add just the wipe. The way we wipe with the cloth, not the white, the blue eye P. Yeah, here it is. Grunge wipe. When we wipe something with the cloth or the hand, the smudges. These are the dusty. We're not using dirt. Smudgy, heavy. This kind of wipe, which will create variation in roughness. So our base roughness is somewhere around 4, 5. I'll add a wipe with heavy roughness. It gives a variation. Let's increase the scale. There is no scale. Let's check the mask. Increase balance. That will do. Let me try with the tiling. Better. This was one wipe. Maybe we can reduce the roughness. Okay. Let's add one more grunge. We can add it in the same layer, or we can create a new layer. If we create a new layer, we can have a different value of roughness, like somewhere in less, not too heavy. Let's add a grunge. Too many grunge. Just pick random to create variation. Anything will work. Make sure to check the mask. This one is very heavy. Let's try inverting. Reduce the balance. Yep, that will do. So when you go to the roughness layer, you will start to see the variations, which is building up slowly. But yeah, if there is not the right value, it won't make effect. Now it's making effect. Okay, and I'll add the one last layer and I will end it with scratches. Add a mask. Even if you want mask, you can just drag and drop. Scratches, SCR Here it is. There are few scratches. Use it wisely. Some works well, some doesn't. Let me try this one. This come up with grunge and scratches. It will add some grunge texture as well and some scratches. We have already added grunge, so we should take only scratches. Okay, let's try this. Too big of scratches, we should reduce the scale. There must be some scale, length, width, tiling. This will do. Reduce the balance, reduce the tiling, work with the balance. Let's see, we haven't worked on the roughness part. As we go further, scratches will be visible. Now I would say we have a pretty much decent variation in the texture, in the height, in the roughness. We can stop here. Right now, this is enough for the leather, guys. This is a basic approach. Again, watch your reference closely, find the right map, make sure to look all the maps. Once you scroll through the down, you might find something you need, and better you understand the software, better you go. Let's see you in the next video.